We're back with another HUD update, and it is the Frozen Forces Week 2. Now, I wanted to look at something because, obviously we didn't get another McDavid this week, but I argue Week 2 was better than Week 1 as terms of overall players. And I'm going to break it down for you in this video, so if you like what you see, drop a like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. So, I want to take a look at head-to-heads here because we kind of got released essentially the same thing. There's only one position that wasn't the same from Week 1 to Week 2, and I'm here to break it down. So the first two I'm going to compare are Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov. And it's going to be McDavid for me right off the bat, but I'm still going to break down both cards and show you why. Let's hide this little mush mouth face of mine. 6'1", buck 94. He has playmaking forward and agility boost. If you have agility boost, that's going to max him out at 99 overall. He has 95 acceleration, 95 speed, 86 endurance, along with gold elite edges and silver wheels. His shot's pretty nasty in the upper 80s and low 90s for accuracy. His hands are in the mid 90s or above for everything. Defensive stats in the nicest way I could care less. And his faceoffs are at a 90. The reason why he's also better than the Kucherov card is he can play center with those faceoffs. Connor McDavid, obviously one of the best cards in the entire game. You're never going to really go against him. But let's take a look at this Kucherov card because it is a nasty little card. He has sniper forward along with playmaking boost. He's 5'11", buck 82, so a little bit smaller. He has make it snappy and puck on a string. I don't like the ability difference between the two. That's why I give the bid to McDavid along with him being able to play center. But 93 excel, 96 agility, and he also has 86 balance with 93 speed. His shots in the mid 90s to upper 90s. So his shot's better. His hands are about the same as McDavid's, if not better. And obviously he does not play center. So I give the nod to Week 1, Connor McDavid. So make sure you're keeping track of these, but that's one win for my Frozen Forces from week number 1, and I have him down as the best overall player to come out of it. The next one I do want to compare is Sam Reinhart to Chris Kreider. This is going to be the only matchup that's going to be different from week 1 going into week 2 because Chris Kreider is a left-handed winger. Sam Reinhart is a center but right-handed, but he has 84 faceoffs. So realistically, you're only going to play this card on the wing, so I want to stack up his abilities as a winger versus another winger. He has sniper forward along with power shooting boost. He has gold close quarters. Kreider also has gold close quarters. He has 80 excel, 91 speed, 87 endurance, and his shots essentially in the low 90s for power to mid 90s for accuracy. His hands are in the low to mid 90s, and his defense isn't too bad at all. Defensive awareness at 87, stick checking 89. As a winger, I'm not complaining at 6'2", buck 93, and you can throw him at center if you want. Just know that the faceoffs are a little bit lower than what we're accustomed to in this time of the year. Then when we get on down to Chris Kreider, he's a left winger, so this is just comparing winger to winger. 89 excel, 88 agility, 89 speed, 87 endurance. His shot's a little bit less as far as power, but he has a little bit higher on the accuracy. They both share gold close quarters, and Chris Kreider's a slightly larger person. So 6'3", 223. So I do like that about him. His hands, though, are about in the upper 80s, and defensively he has lower defensive stats. The only reason why I'm giving it the nod to Reinhart is you can throw him at center if need be, even though we know that won't be his first option. I do have the nod going to Sam Reinhart in a very, very narrow margin, and it comes down to you need a righty or a lefty. Then when you take a look at the next one, this is going to be the hot topic of conversation, but we're going to compare Connor Bedard to Suzuki. 5'10", buck 85. He has sniper forward, pinpoint accuracy, one of the best shots in the game at 99 wrist shot accuracy. He has gold make it snappy. He's a centerman, 84 faceoffs. Realistically, Bedard is solely going to play on the wing. You're probably not going to have him at center. He's very undersized for that. He has 89 excel, 89 speed, and 85 endurance. The 85 endurance is really going to prohibit him. At the same time, his defensive stats are really non-existent. From an offensive standpoint, if you can create space, he's going to bury a lot of shots for you. But if he gets hit once, you can essentially rule out him, and potentially that means you have to take out the whole line that you have. So then I give the nod to Nick Suzuki. 5'11", 212. Look at his face-offs when you have his synergies activated. 93 face-offs. His defensive stats, he has 93 defensive awareness. He has 98 stick checking. And the other thing I like to see is defensive boost and two-way forward. The reason why I like those two together, Nick Suzuki won't be my number one center, at least on my team. He could be on yours, but defensive boost, I have that activated on Brock Faber and Owen Power. So I know this one's going to be activated. Plus two-way forward, I have a bunch of other centermen that share that as well. He has 88 endurance, 90 XL, 91 speed. His shots in the upper 80s, so obviously not as good, but he's going to be harder to knock off the puck. He ain't going to be as getting tired, and I can throw him at center, and I know he can anchor the middle for me. So for that reason, I'm giving that nod to Suzuki. Then we go down to the goaltenders. We go between Jake Oettinger and Jeremy Swayman. On paper, Oettinger looks better. He has gold sponge. He has defensive boost and speed boost. His speed is an 86. He's 6'6", 224. That's an immaculate goaltender. But from my understanding, a lot of people have hated that card so far. So my thought is why not make Jeremy Swayman? And here's the reason why. I look at it from a standpoint of it helps other cards out. This is one of the first goalies I can use starting that can have acceleration boost. I can throw on a gold coach with acceleration boost, and I can throw my backup goalie on with acceleration boost. And one of my players, aka Connor McDavid, has acceleration boost on there. He will have maxed out acceleration boost if I decide to make Jeremy Swayman and throw him in there for the time being. Plus, he has 91 speed. He has good size. 6'3" is not bad at all. That's where I look at this, and I give the nod to Swayman on this one. I know a lot of people are going to probably say the other way around. They're like, you should chose 100% Oettinger, but I make the argument, like, I can use his boost a lot more, and it's going to make a bigger impact for my team, aka my best player that I have, compared to Jake Oettinger, because nobody yet, I haven't been able to use speed boost. Then we're going to go on down to the defensemen. And the defensemen are close, but I'm going to show you why week one was just a little bit better than week two. We have Moritz Seider. It's 6'4", 204. He has two-way defenseman. He also has pinpoint boost. He also has gold shutdown. He has 88 acceleration, 88 speed, 88 endurance. His shots in the upper 80s or low 90s between power and accuracy. His hands are in the mid 80s. And then his defensive stats, 92 defensive awareness, 93 shot blocking, 95 sticking checking, and 91 body checking. I do like the gold shutdown on him. I think it's an immaculate card. I really do. It's a very good right defenseman, and we were in terrible need of it as far as a guy with a lot of size that is on the lefty, or if you didn't get lucky with the fantasy cards like me. Offensive defenseman, along with pinpoint shooting boost. So, one, his endurance is at 85 instead, but the other thing that's a glaring issue is defensive awareness. 86 on a defender. Like, I see that on forwards. It shouldn't be on an 88 overall defenseman, along with Heat Seeker. Heat Seeker's not bad. It's just not as good as Gold Shutdown. So, reality is he has a slightly better shot, yes. But defensively, I think he's going to be a liability because he isn't the fastest guy either at 88 speed. And his endurance is only 85. So I do give it to Seider. The last one we're going to compare is going to be our defenseman here. It's going to be Morgan Rielly and Zach Werenski. We have Morgan Rielly at 6'1", 225. His synergies, he has that two-way defensive boost along with the pinpoint. He has gold seeing eye. I have him rated as the bottom player out of like lottie-dottie everybody, minus the goalies, because the goalies, it's just kind of not fair. But he has 89 excel, 88 speed. Unless you're a Maple Leafs fan, I highly recommend not making him. I don't think it's worth it with how stacked we have for left defensemen. Plus, if you're getting close to unlocking Hedman, it's just going to be really hard to really just say, yeah, he deserves to be in there. But it's not a bad card. I just think there's a lot better out there for left defenseman because it's so competitive. 91 defensive awareness, 90 shot blocking, 94 stick checking. Then when you go over to Zach Werenski, 90 XL, 90 speed, 88 endurance. That's before you activate synergies. So honestly, the 90 endurance is immaculate. His defensive stats are slightly better. Plus, he has gold elite edges. I like gold elite edges better than seeing eye. That's why I give the nod to Zach Werenski. Plus, he's still 6'2", 219. This is not a bad card by any means. Plus, I think he moves very, very like elite, and the gold elite edges definitely help out. But like if you're like me, you have probably a few more better left defensemen, but he could easily anchor that second line or the third line depending on who you have. So if you do the tallies, McDavid won the overall. Like we can all agree on that. Kreider and Reinhart, I think you could go back and forth either way, but I think Reinhart, maybe just because he's a center, but I literally like crossed it out and I wrote Kreider initially, then I switched it to Reinhart. And even the middle of making this video, I still think maybe Kreider's the better one, just because like we don't have as many elite left-handers as we do right-handers. And so maybe I switch over because like 84 faceoffs is just not what I'm using at this point in time in the game. So I think I'm going to switch actually to Kreider here in the middle of the video. So now it's tied up 1-1. Suzuki versus Bedard. I have Suzuki winning out on that. Swayman Ottinger, I had Swayman. Seider versus Hamilton, I give the nod to Seider. And Werenski versus Riley, I give it to Werenski. It really comes down to how you want to make your players and make your teams. I just wanted to do something different because the first thing I got when I was streaming was like, hey, this week's content sucks compared to last week. I argue I'm going to get more value out of this week's players compared to last week because, yeah, do I have a McDavid to go for? In reality, I don't really care because I have Supercharged McDavid. And a lot of you, now that we're getting on the back end of this, are working towards having Supercharged McDavid. So this MSP will kind of come and go, and it's irrelevant. For here and now, it's phenomenal. I love having gold elite edges on him if that's a card I do want to make. But me having Supercharged McDavid, it deters me away. Just like Kucherov, I can kind of throw that one out the door because I also have, like, I'm working towards his X Factor, which is now an 89, and that one's going to be immaculate as well. But when you're breaking down everything that wasn't the 89, like pound for pound, Kreider, Reinhart, it depends. If you need a center right-handed that really is only going to play a wing for you versus a lefty, Bedard versus Suzuki, I will die on this. I've used Suzuki in champs, and he's played phenomenal for me. I can argue I could put Gretzky down on the third line and move Suzuki up to either the second or the first line. He plays really good, and he's really making me think I should put Backstrom on as a winger. Then you have Onger and Swayman. I want to use Swayman for the boost. Like, I could end up making him to boost Connor McDavid. Then you have Seider and Hamilton. I have Seider. Seider's card just looks a lot better. And Werenski versus Riley, I have Werenski. So, like, it's closer than what you think. If you do a deep dive on and you use these cards, like, you might find some bright spots in it. And it's the biggest thing is not coming in with all that negativity, because when you look at it down on paper, week 2 was better than week 1, or is about a toss-up or a tie, depending on how you look at it or how you rank them. But I just went position to position as best as I could because this week kind of allowed for it. Once again, obtaining these cards is still going to be the same as last week. It did not change. You still get the same stuff given out to you as well, so don't hesitate to make these cards, because you can make a free MSP by doing your moments, your wild card, and your objectives. Other than that, guys, I really appreciate you guys stopping in. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal Saturday. And for my friends that are overseas, happy Sunday to you. I hope to see you guys back in here as we kind of hit Christmas week. Hopefully we get some good content going into it. And we also kind of got a teaser that we might be seeing some new X Factors. If you look in wild card, you know what I'll say. I won't spoil it too much for you. Other than that, you guys take care. Have a great, wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here next time.